on ATV News.
The government is back up and running. We'll show you what federal employees are saying now that they're back to work.
Cache Valley Mall is getting a new store, and there's a good chance you've never heard of it.
Utah counties and cities met with legislature on Wednesday. I'll tell you what they said and how it'll affect your wallet.
The leaves are falling. Will the temperatures fall too? Coming up in ATV weather.
In sports, the football team was able to get back to their winning ways, and I'll show you the play that had campus and Twitter buzzing.
It's all coming up on ATV News.
Welcome to this week's edition of ATV News. I'm Victoria Hepworth.
And I'm Eric Jungblatt.
Hundreds of thousands of employees are back at work after the government shutdown ended Thursday. It was the third longest shutdown in our country's history, and federal employees missed about 3 weeks of work. Here at the National Forest Services Center, employees are busy doing their job. They are catching up on work they missed during the shutdown. But there's one thing they won't be doing: talking in front of a camera. They said they aren't allowed to talk about the furlough to any reporters. Some of them said they didn't want to be on camera at all because they were afraid they would lose their jobs. At the Poisonous Research
that's not a problem. Yes, I like working for the government. Agriculture Research Service is a great service to agriculture producers.
Okay. They're testing, logging, and doing their jobs.
Sure, that's not a problem. Yes, I like working for the government. Agriculture Research Service is a great service to agriculture producers throughout the United States and the world.
Panner likes his job and wants to keep it, as do other federal employees. Whatever the reasons the government has for not allowing them to talk about it, the employees remain silent on the issue.
There's still no word from Washington as to whether Utah will be repaid for using state funds to reopen its 5 national parks during the government shutdown. Governor Gary Herbert agreed with U.S. Secretary of the Interior Sally Jewell to send $1.7 million of Utah's own money to the federal government to reopen the state's parks for up to 10 days, but the government reopened after just 4. A press release from the governor says Secretary Jewell made it clear that she could not force Congress to reimburse Utah, but the agreement indicated that Utah could be paid back with congressional approval.
ZCMI, Dillard's, Halloween City, and soon-to-be Hairburgers. The biggest part of the Cache Valley Mall has been through many changes. The newest addition to the mall will be a store that is not familiar to a lot of Cache Valley residents. Hairburgers is a department store that will be the first one in Utah. Rouse Properties own and operate the mall and are excited to have Hairburgers join the other stores. But some people that live in Cache Valley are confused by the name.
I'm super excited. At first I thought it was like a burger restaurant. I thought it was going to have like flapjack burgers. It's a new idea, but it's okay. Found it was a department store. I guess that's kind of cool.
I really don't have an opinion on it. I don't know what if I should shop there, if I should buy a hamburger there.
Halloween City is using the space now, but they are only a seasonal store. Rouse Properties says the Hairburgers department store will hopefully be up and running in a few months.
As the warmer months leave us, you may see gas prices go down, but a new proposal from Utah cities could change that. We sent out Marie Tietze to show us what a possible new tax means for you.
Drivers may expect to see gas prices go up in Utah by at least 3% to help pay for upkeep of roads.
We have a lot of maintenance need, unmet maintenance that's out there that has just kind of, we've built a lot of lane miles. When you build lane miles, you have to take care of them. It's like building a building and not putting money away for repairs and remodeling and those kinds of things that happen over the life of the building.
A recent nonpartisan Utah Foundation report says that the current taxes we have now, totaling about $43.4 billion, will fall short about $11.3 billion over the next 30 years for the planned funding of $54.7 billion for highways and mass transit projects.
I think it is their fault that they took out too much money. I think they should probably budget that a little bit better.
Let's say that this cake represents how much you're paying for gas per gallon in Utah. From about here to here is your federal tax, which is about 5.2%. From about here to here is your state tax, which is about 7.1%. And that new 3% shaves off a little more. And some Utah drivers say that that extra 3% is still too much.
Obviously, I'm a poor college student. Anything I can do to save money helps.
Marie Tietze, ATV News.
The decision to raise the gas tax still hasn't been made, but some lawmakers say they worry if the tax is too high, cross-country travelers may skip over the state.
Still to come, is plugging in your car an answer to sustainability?
And we'll show you why goat milk might be better for your health.
Here at the GED Pep Talk Center, we have pep talkers standing by to get you motivated for your GED diploma. Text the name Terry to 69222 for a sympathetic pep talk.
You show people what you really are.
Or for a gentle pep talk, text the name Deborah.
You know you're going to make people very proud of you.
And if that's not enough, text the name Danny for an extreme pep talk.
Prove everyone wrong. Show them you're the boss.
Get your GED pep talk and find free GED classes. Text the name of the person you want a pep talk from to 69.
Separate raw meats from other foods by using different cutting boards. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
Welcome back. It's not too late to make changes to the ASUSU Constitution. Voting to make changes ends today. The big item on the ballot is whether to rename ASUSU from the Associated Students of Utah State University to the Utah State University Student Association, or USUSA. Students can vote at the ASUSU information booth on the first floor of the TSC or vote online. Some ASUSU officers thought changing the name would be confusing for students, but others aren't worried.
I think there will be a period where we're still known as ASUSU, but now we're USU Student Association. I think that change will take a little bit of time to really implement. But over time, as you know, students rotate every year in and out of school. I don't expect that will be an issue.
If you're a student, it's not too late to vote. You can vote online at vote.usu.edu.
Last week we told you about some of the unseen side effects of water conservation. Today's ATV, Brianna Bodley, shows us that fuel-efficient vehicles may not be as sustainable as you think.
As soon as you start up that engine, you use energy. Advertising vehicles with high miles per gallon.
Gets up to 42 miles per gallon.
Companies target customers worried about how much they're spending and air quality. But more miles have some downsides.
They get more miles per gallon, so they're actually using the roads more, but they're not paying as much in tax because the tax is tied right to a gallon of gas.
And as people use the roads more, costs go up, making it difficult to stay on top of road maintenance.
We can't have the cost of materials going up, the cost of labor going up, and all of those costs going up and have the revenue flat or stagnant or going down.
In 2010, Congress mandated that all gasoline contain at least 10% ethanol, giving cars fewer carbon emissions and slightly lower MPGs. It sounds like it would help counties, but burned ethanol releases a particle called PM2.5 into the atmosphere. In Logan, it's the PM2.5 that does the most harm. A study from the Utah State University shows that it is this particle that will cling to cells inside the lungs and bloodstream, causing asthma, heart disease, and cancer. Some drivers try to skip gas entirely, or opt for electric. But even these cars rely on fossil fuels. Most electricity is made from burning coal, which according to the U.S. Energy Information Administration puts almost twice as much CO2 in the atmosphere. Others are made from windmills or are water-powered, but both require materials made with fossil fuels. Brianna Bodley, ATV News.
Next week, we'll take a look at the ups and downs of recycling.
If you've ever looked up in Logan on a clear night, you probably noticed a green beam shooting straight up into the sky. ATV's Lee Kubik learned the meaning behind the light.
Lasers aren't new technology, but the green beam that shoots into the Logan sky has caused many to question its purpose.
There were all sorts of things, as you can expect, like Beam Me Up Scotty. We had crop circles in Smithfield, and someone, I guess, thought we had a big mirror in the sky and made the crops. It was fun.
That green beam comes from the Atmospheric LiDAR Observatory. It is used to test weather phenomena in the mesosphere, including global warming.
Global warming is a reality. It's occurring. All the measurements in the atmosphere are showing that it is warming up in the troposphere, and as we're accumulating measurements higher up, we're seeing that it is cooling higher up, which would be the predicted effect of that.
When working in the lab, scientists need to be careful where they look, because if they look directly into the green light, it can cause eye damage, requiring goggles.
At this point, we have
The laser sends infrared and green light through a lens, where the light expands, hits a mirror positioned at 45 degrees, and goes up through the ceiling to the telescope, which shows researchers some rare information.
We knew there were coolings in the mesosphere in the polar regions, so at higher latitudes, like 60 degrees north, but we never looked at the fact that there were coolings, hadn't seen so much evidence of the coolings at lower latitudes like ours at 42 degrees north.
If you look up to the sky on clear nights, you may see the beam at work from the roof of the SER building on campus. Lee Kubik, ATV News.
If you're interested in learning more about the LiDAR Observatory, check out their website at usurayleighlidar.com. I'm going to assume you've had milk before, and normally when people think of milk, it's from a cow.
Yes, sir. However, experts say goat's milk is a healthier alternative to the milk you can buy at the store. Our Bradley Wells shows you more.
Goat milk has been around for a while. It may be new to most people, but some people have been drinking it for years.
It's so nutritious and it's good and it's easier to swallow and it's no bitter taste.
There's no medication, there's no fillers, there's no antibiotics or nothing in it. In other words, it's all natural food.
For some people, the availability of goat milk has been important to them.
Was one of those who wanted to nurse until she was at least a year, but that just wasn't going to happen. So the ability to find something that I feel good about my daughter drinking and not having to turn to formula I would be a crazy woman without it.
Goats with the healthier diet, such as ones with lettuce, tend to produce a better milk, which we can then drink and use like any other milk.
There's enzymes in the goat milk that works on the nervous system, on the mental, and on the physical. And you put them all together and you've got a full person.
You don't want to have a marginalized goat milk or pasteurized. It has to be raw and straight from the goat.
It's been great for her weight gain, for her immunity. I mean, she's done really great with it in terms of staying healthy.
Bradley Wells, ATV News.
Goat's milk is gaining in popularity, and you can find it in various stores throughout the state.
Well, when we come back, Brianna Bodley will be bringing you your Cache Valley weather report.
And right now, the current temperature is 59 degrees.
Here's your check. Oh, you got it. You know, since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay. Got it. No.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early. You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Look at me. Hey.
Raymond, look at mommy.
Maybe the light hurts his eyes.
Maybe she's just not hungry. Maybe he can't hear us. Maybe we're not stimulating him enough. Maybe it's a phase.
Avoiding eye contact is one early sign of autism.
Learn the others today. The sooner it's diagnosed, the better.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy. Oh, and she even talks to it. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
Hey Cache Valley, and welcome to ATV Weather. As soon as we can pull it up, I want to look at our national radar. That's the football game. A lot of fun, but we're going to see that in a little bit. So instead, we're going to take a look at our weather, particularly our national weather, to make sure that next time we have a football game, it's going to be as beautiful as this day was. There it is. So as you can see over here in the Midwest, there is a lot of precipitation. All of that blue and green, especially the green, means heavy rainfall. Over here on the East Coast, however, it's actually drying up a little bit, which is different from several weeks ago. For several weeks, it's been quite wet out there. But over here in the West, you're seeing a lot of dry too. As you can see right over here in California, we have a little bit of precipitation, and that's slowly going to make its way over to Utah, where right now, as you can see, it's pretty dry. If we take a look at state radar, right now up here in northern Utah, as you can see, it's pretty dry, but right up here, just in the corner of the other state next to us, it is a little bit wet, and it's going to move its way over along with the California weather. So right now, if we take a look at the 7-day forecast, you can see that today it's nice and sunny, a high of 65, a low of 33, and it's going to stay like that for at least the next 24 hours. But tomorrow, we do have a small chance of some kind of precipitation. Mostly it'll just be a little bit cloudy, high of 65, low of 33. On Friday though, the chance of precipitation does go up to about 40%, and it's possibly going to be snow. Yay! Well, for me, I love snow, so make sure that you have those winter coats out and your snow boots, because we're not sure how much it's going to fall, but this is going to be one of our good ones. A high of 65, low of 31, and then Saturday, it's going to be clear, but it is going to be cold. High of 60, low of 36, and it's probably going to stay closer to the 36 than it is the 60. On Sunday, it's going to warm up a little bit, but ironically enough, we have about a 40% chance of snow. A little funny. High of 64, low of 34. Monday, we have a chance of rain, just a little one. High of 51, low of 25. And Tuesday, it's going to get cold, but it will clear up again. High of 41, low of 30. That's all we have for ATV weather. Up next, Lee Kubik is going to tell us a little bit about ATV sports.
Thanks, Brianna. Coming up in ATV Sports, I'll show you football highlights with one of the wildest scoring plays of the year and introduce you to Aggies' new starting tight end.
NFC, AFC, offensive linemen, defensive tackles, quarterbacks, and cornerbacks are all living united to ensure the academic success of millions of kids in our communities all the way to graduation day. But that won't happen without you. So take the pledge at unitedway.org. Make a difference in the life of a child. Suit up like your favorite NFL players and become a volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor with United Way.
Don't look at me. Your hair's a bit frizzy today. Oh, you should pick that up. Oh, you're such a dork. Loser. Here, let me help you with that. Oops.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Oh, look. Your crush is looking at you. Poor you.
They want to help, but don't know how.
See, no one here's gonna help you, because no one
Teach your
likes
kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
Welcome back. I'm Lee Kubik with ATV Sports. As the weather starts to cool off, the sports season begins to heat up. Let's start with some gridiron action. After dropping their last 2 games at home, Aggie football flew to New Mexico to battle with the Lobos, who have been struggling in their own right. We pick up the action in the second quarter with the Aggies already up 17-3. This game quickly became the Joey DiMartino show. He scores on this 32-yard scamper and again on this 38-yard run. He counted for 4 of the Aggies' scores on Saturday evening. Nearing halftime, special teams got going. Bruce Jojo Natson takes this punt back 65 yards. He doesn't even look like he's running, folks. He could be skipping, he could be walking, didn't matter. He wasn't touched as he trots all the way to pay dirt. The Aggies now lead 31-3. Then in the fourth quarter, with the Aggies already up big, the play that got all the excitement from fans. Punter Jaron Bentrud calls zone number and takes off up the field, going nearly untouched for a 72-yard touchdown, proving he can do more with his legs than punt. The Aggies roll to a 45-10 victory. Utah State has a bye week this week before returning home to host Hawaii November 2nd. Keeping with the football theme, the team has been riddled with injuries this season, causing some new faces to take on new roles. Earlier this week, we sat down with the Aggies' new starting tight end, Keegan Anderson. Well, thanks for joining us, Keegan. I really appreciate you sitting down with us.
No problem.
When did you start playing football?
I started playing football when I was in 5th grade and all the way up to now.
Did you always play tight end?
No. Through 5th grade and up, I was a receiver, and then through high school, I was a receiver in a corner, and then when I came to Utah State, I got moved to tight end.
What's something most people don't know about you?
I really like the Ninja Turtles and that you are my roommate.
What are your thoughts on Jaron's touchdown run from Saturday?
At first, I didn't know what was going on. I heard the crowd and I thought he shanked it. So I was looking up in the air for the ball, and then I caught the Jumbotron, and it was Jaron running. And I was like, he's going to score. And so then I just sprinted over and started celebrating with him, and it was crazy.
What was it like when you scored your first college touchdown?
To be honest, it didn't really hit me until after the game, because when it happened, it just was like, I got to go get on PAT, because so I didn't really think of it anything. But the one that hit me is when I scored against Weber State. I was really pumped when I scored that one, just because it was a long touchdown and it was a cool experience.
Did you hear the crowd yelling at you the whole time? Your fans and your family up in the stands?
Yep, I heard you yelling. Yelling, that's my roommate!
I don't even know how to answer that. Well, Keegan, thank you for joining us today so we can introduce you to the Aggie faithful.
Thank you.
Anderson is a redshirt junior majoring in ITDS and graduates this December. He says that he hopes to be a coach like his dad, Gary Anderson. The Utah State women's soccer team is in the midst of their busiest week of the season. On Tuesday, they played their makeup game against Air Force with a spot in the Mountain West tournament on the line. The Aggies were looking to win their third straight game when they took on the Falcons. USU began knocking on the Air Force doorstep from the get-go. Jen Flynn has her shot sailed just wide. A few minutes later, it seems as though Falcons defender Gabriella Gray wants to score for the Aggies. But the post comes in for the rescue, and Jane Robeson cannot score off the rebound. USU's goal would finally come in the 12th minute when Lexi Morgan fires this shot from 25 yards out to put the Aggies in front. The Aggies outshot the Falcons 8-1 in the first half. The second half brought more of the same as USU continued to attack and doubled the score in the 57th minute. Kylie Dibb is in the right place at the right time to deflect the ball into the goal. The Aggies had more opportunities to score but failed to convert. USU now turns their attention to the top 2 teams in the conference, New Mexico and San Diego State.
They're going to be tough games. They're both really good teams, top of the Mountain West. So we're looking to play really hard and hopefully get a win here.
USU takes on New Mexico Friday and the Aztecs of San Diego State on Sunday. That's all the sports from this past weekend. Next week, volleyball and soccer are back at home, while football has a bye week. Back to you, Victoria and Eric.
Thanks, Lee. Coming up, do you believe in magic? Well, whether you do or not, some magicians put on quite the show last night.
And we'll show you why some students are fighting to stay in the dark.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
Live with a human for a while, and you get to know a few things. Like, I know she does strange tricks for no treats. But the one thing I will never, for the life of me, know is how she gets so tiny and inside that box. Natalie, how do you get so tiny?
A magician never reveals his secrets. It's part of the magician's oath, and you can be sure it was upheld at the Thatcher Mansion when 9 magicians tried to mystify for the top prize at the Cache Valley Conjurers competition. Brandon Fonda is live to show us the story. Brandon?
Just a second, Victoria. Is this your card?
Mm-mm.
Is this your card?
Nope.
Okay, well, is this your card?
Try again.
All right, well, I'm not very good at magic, but last night I met some who are. What about this one?
Try to mesmerize you. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Richard Hatch.
Try to mesmerize you. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Richard Hatch has been a magician for almost 50 years.
All right, keep watching him. I want you to not look away.
And with tricks like this, he's performed all over the world.
Suggestion, hopefully just that quickly they become what they always were, just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 $1 bills. Taipei, Taiwan, in Budapest, Hungary, probably about 3 dozen original.
Posters like these lining his studio represent his love for magic.
Magic is unique among the performing arts because it's the only one that produces the sense of wonder, of astonishment.
Which is why he set up the Hatch Academy of Magic, who hosted its 3rd annual competition Tuesday. Magicians from Cache Valley and some from Salt Lake had 7 minutes each to earn the judges' vote.
Try to do this without the tongue.
I won first prize on the first 2. And so this is my 3rd attempt, and I've stepped aside for younger work.
Now that the competition is over, the judges will decide which magician amazed them the most. The judges, mostly made up of USU professors, gave top marks to Elias Lefty.
Fabulous. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I love this stuff. It's great fun.
And fun is what it's all about.
Watch the ring once, because it'll go right under the stick. You see? That's pretty doggone amazing, isn't it?
This one? You're lying. You're lying. I can't do magic. Anyways, winner of that competition won $100, but he said just doing it for the fun was worth the competition. Back to you, Victoria.
Thanks, Brandon. For information on next year's Cache Valley Conjurers competition, or if you'd like to learn the magic tricks, visit hatchacademy.com.
There's a war going on campus, but you can hardly see it. It's called Energy Wars, and it's a program done by the USU Sustainability Office with Housing Services. For the months of October and November, students in on-campus housing are battling to see who consumes the least energy possible. This energy program will contribute to bettering Cache Valley's air quality and USU's greenhouse gas emissions. So, if you live on campus and want to take part of the action, you can start by turning the lights off and opting for natural light instead, unplugging electronics when not in use, and dressing for weather and adjusting the thermostat.
Our goals on campus are not just to provide a place for students to stay, it's to be educational. So this is an opportunity where we used to promote educational opportunities about sustainability, conserving energy, about green initiatives, to make students who may not have ever been in a situation where they were the ones paying the electric bills, or they were the ones with control over the heat or lighting, making them aware of how much impact they can have on how much energy that they use.
At the end of the program, the building...
Thanks for joining us on ATV News. We'll see you next week.
Be sure to catch us next week for our Halloween edition of Cache Rendezvous. Thanks for joining us.